don't dance unless I hear some music. It's time for Nerdy for 30, podcast where we talk about nerdy-ish movies for 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer, aka Left Side. With me, as always, strong side, Mr. Tim Cack.
I don't scratch my head unless it itches, Kevin.
All right. I will not be intimidated, Tim. I want to say that to you right now. We're here today.
Kevin, I have one question for you. Who is your daddy? Who's your dad?
Goddamn. You already know, Tim. We're here today to talk about Remember the Titans. Possibly the finest film that's ever been made. A movie that solved all of society's problems. A movie that just makes you feel great every time you watch it. And I mean, I want to let you know right now, I will not stand for a bad word being said about this movie, Tim. What do you think about it?
I love this movie. Saw it at the right time as a kid that it just meant everything to me. Watching it now as an adult, I do get that there is a hint of racism or like race conversation 101 for white people element in this, right? It's not The Blind Side, it's not Green Book where it's like a white savior thing, but it does seem like a little I don't know, just a little generic and surface level for these things that are pretty deep. But I mean, as a white kid who was growing up in Satellite Beach, Florida, and wanted to play football and all these things, and just loved the team and loved family and found family, and Denzel's crushing it, and it's great. I mean, I freaking love this movie, man. There's a million quotes in it that are great. There's a million little stories that are kind of tied up with a little bow at the end. It's a great football movie. It's a great sports movie. I think it's one of the best sports movies. I don't think the actual football being played is necessarily that great, but as far as the team and football and winning and life and, building human connections in sports, I think it's as good as it gets, Kevin.
Oh, I'm right there with you. This is definitely high up on my list. That does tap into a thing that I was thinking about asking later, but maybe it's good if we get the controversial stuff out of the way now. I was thinking a lot about this movie and a lot about how it shows incredible teamwork and leadership, but at the same time, I couldn't actually identify a moment in the movie where Coach Boone makes a decision on the football field that turns the tide outside of just trusting in his guys. Like, he definitely trusts in the guys that are on the field. He drove them hard in practice. Like, I feel like where he really shines as a leader, at least in what's depicted in this movie, is while they are at football camp. Because, man, he brings that team together in a way that nobody else could have, and that is unbelievable. But when it comes time to actually be on the field, I'm asking this as a person who never played and doesn't fully understand football to a person who actually played and I'm pretty sure understands football.
A little.
What is there something that Boone did in this movie where you were like, that's a great coaching decision during that game?
I mean, I think this really, Coach Boone exemplifies what I think the romanticized version of a head football coach is, which is a talent manager, like fuels the team, chemistry, putting all the right things together, building all the guys up, that type of thing. Like the conductor that gets the band to play. Right. And then usually there's like maybe they call the plays or something, but there'll be an offensive coordinator. There's a defensive coordinator. The other guy in this is the former coach is the defensive coordinator. And it seems like he's trying to make moves. He's got guys he's pulling from the other team. Petey gets kicked off the offense. And so he recruits him for the defense, and then the defense starts playing well. As far as like X's and O's, them calling plays, I don't know if I necessarily follow it at all or understand it, or I'm not really convinced they're making sense. He's not really calling the offense necessarily. His big move is Rev gets hurt and Sunshine gets in the game, and then Sunshine goes off book and does this weird flip thing that knocks this guy out, right? Like, He is a chemistry guy. He is a team building guy. He's clearly, it seems like his bit for offense is just running the basics really, really well. So then maybe his arc in a way to trust his other coach, the defensive coordinator, is when he suggests using a trick play, which he mocked earlier. He opens the book, he brings Rev back in, and they run one of the weirder, just visually, they just run like a reverse and run up the side of the field. And I guess they've already established that, oh my gosh, I'm like Sunshine is like a badass. I guess he's like physically like he does not look like a badass, but they have established in the movie that he is a physical specimen and is kicking people's asses physically. And he lights up like two defenders on the way to the end zone, and Rev's running behind him. And it's like, why even do that? Give Sunshine the ball. He just truck two guys. He could hold it and just like run into the end zone like that, Like I'm not sure the football in this is that good. I did also notice too, which I did respect, as someone who played, Go Scorpions high school football for a little bit. The scores were very high school football from what I know. They went into the half. They're like, we're getting blown out. It's like 7-0. All their games were like 14-14. It's like, 21 to whatever. It's like they're very low scoring games there. And they just sell you on the whole movement of it. There's also, for the football, when they're filming these like montages, like the games passing, they do a whole montage that's just on the coaches.
Yeah.
It doesn't even show the field. It doesn't show the players. It's just in Boone's face, the assistant's face, the opposing coach's face. They're the ones dueling it out. And the kid and the actual play on the field is like secondary to like everything else and the feelings around it and the emotions they're trying to convey. Because the play on the field is terrible. They're not scoring at all. They've got 14. Each team has scored twice. Like, they're not great. Yeah, it's probably pretty bad high school football, to be honest. It is.
It's funny to be like, I know football's a way bigger thing in the South than it was in Ohio, but like, it is really funny to me. They show these opposing team coaches as though these guys are like fucking Bill Belichick. Like, they walk in with this unbelievable swagger, and you look at it and you're like, that guy's making $30,000 a year, if that. No, it's was this the 60s? This guy is making the equivalent. I'm not going to do the math, but he's making the equivalent of like $30K a year. Like,
and he also like has to teach math, right?
Yeah, they don't show
that was the part I didn't understand. I want to see Coach Boone in there like struggling through like phys ed or like having to teach, I don't know, what does the gym teacher teach you? I guess you don't really get puberty like in high school, but doing like health classes and playing videos of like births and stuff, and then drawing plays in the back of the room.
Dude, if he had to bring the same approach to get people interested in chemistry or like basic introductory physics, that would be so fun. Just like a whole class, they're all struggling to light a Bunsen burner. He makes them run like 8 miles and then come back. They're all exhausted. And it turns out they've run to, I don't know, Marie Curie's laboratory.
You fail a quiz, you run a mile. You flunk a test, you run a mile. You get a question wrong, I will break my foot off in your ass, and then you will run a mile. It's incredible. The camp is like, watching the camp, and they're just like, someone's like, we need a water break, and he's like, water, we're gonna do work until this guy isn't thirsty anymore. And I'm like, this is how people die. Like, this is like, this movie has probably resulted in this movie, Remember the Titans, has probably caused more football related practice deaths than any other movie. Where it's like, you're thirsty, we're going to play till you're not thirsty anymore, And it's like, that's dumb football coach logic. And how many, middling math teachers at a high school got the opportunity to coach offense and yelled that stuff because they saw it in this movie, and then had like parents complain and got fired because of, their mistreatment of like children doing this. It's pretty wild stuff.
I remember being in junior high, Tim, I'm 12 years old, and they're coaching us that if you aren't throwing up, you're not running hard enough, which is just buck wild when you think about it. Like, people were out there, like literally peeing their pants on the course because it's like you're pushing your body so hard, and it's crazy. Like, it is absolutely insane to think about driving that. But then, if you don't do that, we don't get Prefontaine.
Yeah, I do feel like I have seen like marathoners and stuff that just like shit themselves. And there's like there was one of this woman who's like, I shit myself, don't film my ass. And they don't film her butt. And I'm like, that's so nice. And it's like, so she won, but I'm like, but you also shit your pants. So like, can you win a marathon? Is it really a win if you shit your pants in the process? Right?
Follow-up question. Should there be a separate category of marathon where winners are asterisked by when, if ever, in the race they shit their pants? And would there be a category where maybe somebody is like middle of the pack in terms of marathon performance for people who never shit their pants, but in races where people have to immediately shit their pants before running the marathon, they are undefeated?
I think they should check it like a drug test. Like as soon as they cross the finish line, drop trow, we're checking, they get some gloves in there, they spread the cheeks, they check the pants, just a quick check. And I don't think they have to do this for everybody. I think you just do it for first place. Because I think you should
make sure they didn't shit their pants.
I think you forfeit gold if you shit your pants. That's where I'm coming with this. Like you can be silver. Silver's fine for pants shitters.
What you need to do is you need to
get a bronze. That's fine.
You don't even need people dropping trout. You can have a parent, like a current parent of like a 2 to 4 year old, and they're going to be able to eyeball that immediately. Like just by the way the person's walking, that parent is going to know. I've heard stories about how people who work in like cardiac wards in the emergency room have been able to identify heart attacks in their friends and family members before the person even notices they're having symptoms, just because they're so subconsciously trained on the micro expressions that are associated with cardiac distress. Most new parents I know, or parents of toddlers I know, have that with people shitting their pants. They can just tell. There's something. Hey, look, I don't know. It's like how children and animals can see ghosts, but adults can't. They can just see when people shit in their pants.
I'm picturing like a kindergarten teacher just walks up and like smells, like takes a sniff, and they're like, he's good. And then it's like, yeah.
The crowd waits. The crowd
waits for the sniff.
A pin drop.
And then I'm also just picturing the sniff, and then everyone looks over and it's real serious, and the teacher just has to like shake their head.
Yeah.
Like real solemnly, like a real like shake. And then the crowd goes, oh.
Yeah, and they just wait for the next finisher to come through.
Yeah, and it's like second place for so-and-so.
The next guy comes in, he's limping. They don't even check. Oh, good God.
I think second's fine, but I think if you're going to be the gold medalist who holds up the gold medal and is the hero of your sport, you probably can't shit your pants while you're doing it. What age do you think we stop being able to see ghosts? Is it as soon as we can speak?
Wow.
Do you think it's like once you get a full sentence? Like kindergarten. You can't see ghosts in kindergarten anymore.
No. What is
Do
it
kindergartners
like?
see ghosts?
There's something
email the
like
show.
Yeah,
nerdyfor30@gmail.com. Can kindergartners see ghosts?
If you've ever seen a ghost, let us know what age you were. Or if you have a child who has seen a ghost, let us know how old they were when that happened. We're going to try to ballpark this and figure it out. What's the deal where like kids don't write memories for the most part before they're like 5 years old or something? I remember taking our nieces to Disney World. That was a big conversation where people were like, they're not even going to remember it. And it's like, I mean, we are. It's going to be fun for us.
It's going to be fun for us. I wonder how many of my early childhood memories are just things I've made up because I've heard people talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that very well could be. I wonder how many of your childhood memories are just full of ghosts and you don't remember any of it.
Exactly. What if all of us just from ages 1 to 2 are just haunted by ghosts? And that's why, we can't speak. We're struggling to stand up because every time we try to stand up, a ghost comes out and scares us.
They just shove you back down.
It's like the way they crawl so quickly. It's why they just start crying. It's like because the specter of like their great grandmother is coming to check on them, and they don't know how to process that.
One of my favorite tropes, one of my favorite like horror movie tropes is like a kid who sees the ghost of like a family member or something, but the ghost of the family member looks horrifying. And like, I don't know. The kid is just like, oh yeah, that's grandma. And they're totally unfazed by it because they've always been told like, yeah, that's grandma.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw some video the other day of like babies with snakes. And it was like, just like, it's like boa constrictors and like toddlers, or like not even toddlers, like straight up babies, like in diapers, just sitting on the ground, and they're touching the snakes. The snakes don't care. They're all just like hanging out together, and the parents are there like, oh my God, we're making so much money for this. On the side, like, it's fine, it's okay. But it was kind of this like idea. They were making the argument that you have to learn to be afraid of snakes. Basically,
I can see it. I think you have to learn to be afraid of most things like that.
You could see a scary ghost, and you would have to learn to be afraid of a scary ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just whatever.
Like fireworks. I feel like when you see kids grow up, there's like a period where fireworks are great, and then there's 1 year where fireworks are scary, and then they're right back to liking fireworks again.
That's when they stop being able to see ghosts.
Yeah, that's when you stop being able to see ghosts. As soon as fireworks are scary, you can't see the ghosts anymore.
And
maybe they don't bother showing up because they know it would freak you out.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing, is the ghosts being chill about it. Yeah, like as soon as you start to have conscious like thoughts, like one of our nieces is now in a range where it's like, she's old enough she's definitely going to remember conversations and stuff. She's extremely smart. It's like you can like reason with her and explain things to her, and she'll understand it on a deeper level. It's not just like, what is that? And it's like, oh, that's a cow. What a bad example. Yeah, she understands what cows are on a deeper level now. But that's
a cow. She's like, oh, like a pivotal cornerstone of the food that we produce. They're herded and manufactured. They generate milk, beef. You get steaks and ground beef and hamburgers from them and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, she's dropping the phylum. She's saying like, oh, a bovine. That's what a great example of the
going right to the
family.
Phylum.
Right to the phylum. Man, remember the Titans.
Speaking of ghosts and getting emotional, the ghost of this movie, I cried like a baby watching this.
Oh yeah,
not gonna lie.
What were your cry points in this one?
Oh my God, him with the thing with like Bertier, and he's just like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. And he's like, Julius, let's get out of here, man. Let's just go. And Julius is like, I got to stay with my girl tonight, man. And he gets in the car, and I know it's coming. I freaking know it's coming. And he gets in the car accident. Oh, that's devastating. And then they show up at the hospital, and we follow Julius in.
That's for
me.
me.
And the coach tells him he's not going to walk anymore. The way Julius, Wood Harris is he's a great actor. He's a great actor.
Oh, yeah.
And him and Denzel together in that scene, the way Julius reacts to it, and like he just plays it exactly right, where it's like not too big. It just feels very real. And then when he talks to his mom, and the mom is like Bertier's mom, and he's like, I don't know, Mama, Gary got it. Oh no. Oh, what is it? Yeah. When she's just telling him that he got paralyzed from the waist down, Julius, he's asking about you. He wants to see, you got to be strong for my boy. And then he goes in there with him, and he says the line, you're Superman, always gets me. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be Superman. Oh, that's so good. That's so fucking good. I did also think there's a scene then after that where Denzel's comforted by his wife, who really doesn't have a lot of minutes in the game, but she puts up some numbers while she's in there. She's moving the ball around. Mm-hmm. He says, I don't know, Mama. And she goes, Gary had an accident. Sometimes life's just hard for no reason at all. And that got me this time too, where it's just like, sometimes it's hard for no reason at all. And you're like, you're right. There is no control over all of this. And that does seem to kind of be like a theme of the movie, is like, this is all way harder than it needs to be, than it should be. Like, these guys have to overcome so many obstacles that aren't of their own making. I'm getting choked up thinking about it just right now. Oh my God. And then the rest of the movie is all like little bows being tied. The big guy gets into college, hugs his coach. It's like all this stuff.
Amazing
There's all these moments where like Petey comes back in the game. Ryan Gosling gives him his job. The white girl shakes Julius's hand, which is a big moment for her.
The true triumph. Tim, the part in this movie The part in this movie where she comes up to Bertier and she's like, hey, I'm going to try not to be racist anymore. It's going to take me a long time, but I'm going to try, is wild to me. Like, her character arc is that she's like, I'm sorry, I just got to be racist. And then she's like, you know what, Bertier, for you, I'm going to try not to. And for it to culminate with a handshake, she comes onto the field to give him a handshake. And was that the O-line coach that was there?
I think so.
That other guy, for him to just be like, what is happening? And then he sees the handshake and he's like, oh, I know that.
Oh, I figured this out. Yeah. They got the only other black coach there for the moment because they're like, he'll know what this means.
Yeah. God damn. This movie has so many, what were you going to say?
I guess there's a part of me with like the football stuff where it's like Bertier and Julius and they become fast friends in like a week or two. There's a part of me that I'm like, I'm for that. You're through the pressure cooker. You're doing like 3-a-days. You're doing all this stuff. You hate each other. It also feels like sports hate and rivalry is really mixed in. Like there is a racial element there, but it seems to mostly be about like not people trying to find their place on the team, trying to take care of themselves. It seems like race is an element in that relationship, but not necessarily the biggest element in that relationship all the time. Whereas the white girlfriend, Emma, is just racist. She's just straight up racist. And she's like, I'm going to try not to be racist. You're right. But then there's a part of me that's kind of like, if you were so racist, you wouldn't shake his hand. And then 2 weeks later, you're willing to shake his hand. Were you really that racist in the first place? Like, it just seems like, are you a person of your convictions or not? You know, like there's some part of me that's like, what? Like she went from being the most racist person ever to like turning over a new leaf in 2 weeks. And it's like, what did she, I guess it's the same thing Bertier did, but that's the part that maybe seems a little cookie cutter, like racism 101, you know, for white people thing, where it's like, you know, all it takes is a week. And you can, you know, these people like change the way they've been thinking for like generations, you know?
Well, like, and it took football. They had
and it took football and it took her boyfriend getting hurt.
Yeah.
And getting to know Julius. I mean, some of that, that handshake's the worst part of this movie for me. I mean, I can lose that.
It's tough. The one that's still it just is so much harder now than when I saw this when I was a kid was the scene with the cop and Julius too. When Julius shows up in Bertier's neighborhood and it's like, the cop rolls up and I couldn't remember what happened in that part of the movie. And it felt like Get Out, where it's just like, Jesus, fuck, like, God damn it. And for the cop too, I mean, to their credit, there's never a point in time where the cop does not seem menacing and threatening. Like even when he gives him the compliment, it's still like this guy feels like he is walking a fine line, like for, I don't know, driving the car away versus finding some random thing to get out of the car for. So like, I would say he's probably still the most racist character in the movie. I think
he's
the
won over
cop
by
takes white
football right
girlfriend.
away. I mean, there's people throwing them out of restaurants and stuff.
Oh, that is a good point. They're
like
probably the most
like there's a ton
racist.
of like real racism in this movie that is very I don't know. It is tough to watch. I mean, but this is like the first time I've watched it in a while, and I was like, the scene with the cop car was like, I was uncomfortable. I was scared. It's like the attitude, at least since I was a kid, or maybe, I don't know, throughout my life, my view on cops and policing and their relationship with different communities has changed a lot. And watching it this time, I was just way more aware of like, okay, some effed up shit could just happen now for no reason, just because the cops want to do it and they have this power over people. And then they just turn into like a, wow, great job. Football's great. That fixes everything, you know? I don't know.
It's interesting that they lean on having this, like I said, like a common cause as a means by which to bring people together. Because I mean, it is interesting, especially set against the backdrop of football in the South. I know this is Virginia, but still like more, more Southern than, again, where I grew up. And it's definitely portrayed like very, very Southern there. So like it makes sense that for what they were trying to do. I mean, first of all, this is a true story, but it also makes sense that against the backdrop of something where football is that important of a piece of life, that it would be the kind of thing that wins people over. And it continues to be interesting to me that there are very racist people walking around today, like very consciously, outwardly racist people, nothing like implicit, like active chosen biases, for people who probably wear a football jersey with a black player's name on the back. And they have no problem with that hypocrisy. Like they're able to draw that boundary in their mind.
Right. Like I think that's the kind of shades of gray that like real life is. Yeah. And in this movie, it seems like you're racist or you're not. And that you just kind of get fixed. And then it gets fixed with football. And that's probably some of the kind of basic element to this that just makes white people feel good about themselves. But I did want to hit on the other cry moment for me is the perfection speech where Denzel comes in and he's trying to let them off the hook. And then Julius hits him with like, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but we as a team are perfect. I'm like, damn, that got me so good. I was just crying the whole end of the movie. It was beautiful. And I do also want to point out that Ryan Gosling at one point, they say that his dad says he's a 5-time player of the week. And that is not true. There's no way he's 5-time player of the week. He is the scrawniest little kid out there. He is getting beat every play right away. And he was 5-time player of the week. When? In like Pee Wee? Maybe. Not as like a high school athlete. Ryan Gosling in this movie is not a convincing high school athlete. The dude Turk from Scrubs is a more convincing defensive back than Ryan Gosling is in this movie. The fact that they were like, he's a 5-time Ryan Gosling losing his job in this game is one of the least shocking things I've ever seen in my life. Oh, Ryan Gosling, this scrawny version of Ryan Gosling isn't good at football. Like, no surprise. Zero surprise on my part. I thought there was zero drama in it. I didn't even understand it. This is the first time I noticed the 5-time player of the week. I was like, why does his dad care? He clearly sucks. The coach's daughter is standing up there and being like, he's just getting beat. Like, it's okay. He just sucks at football. And why is his dad going so hard for his son? Because he's bad. He's terrible. Ryan Gosling sucks at football. I can say that with confidence. You know for sure when Ryan Gosling cannot throw a spiral. I'll say that too about the man today. He cannot throw a spiral football. Not a chance. Not a chance in the world. I'm not saying I'm like a professional athlete or anything like that, but he's throwing ducks. He's throwing wounded birds through the air, wobbling all over today. He's too busy learning piano or something for like his next musical, and that's fine. He's got a different skill set, but watching him getting played off the field in this was no surprise to me at all. But also some of his best work. He's
fun to watch in this. It's interesting. They throw around the superlative so much in this. I don't know how many of these were true about the actual guys. They mentioned Bertier's an All-American. I think there was a couple of other All-Americans. I can't remember if Julius is too. But it's interesting that based on the pedigree of the guys that they're putting out there, none of the other teams seem intimidated by them in the slightest. The Titans constantly feel like underdogs. But if you're reading off the roster of guys, it would have had to be like, this is a high school team? Like how? How in the world?
Well, it seems like Bertier's the only one with any like real acclaim. And Ryan Gosling's player of the week. I mean, player of the week could be anything. I mean, there were players of the week. You know, I think our kicker was player of the week one time just because they wanted us to have one, like in the newspaper or something. Like
it could be for the waffle place they go to. Like maybe he ate the most waffles every week, and so they're like, he's player of the week. Where's
Alan
he putting
Bosley,
these things?
The waffle king. That I do also say Sunshine is like Rev gets a nickname. Sunshine gets a nickname. Sunshine's name. Do you know what his name is?
No.
Romney Bass.
Romney
Bass. Romney. Romney. I wrote Romney Bass. When I heard it, when he's like, this is my son, Romney Bass or whatever, I was like, oh, this is a great name. Bass is like a great name for a quarterback, and it's like the one name in there that didn't need a nickname, you know?
Yeah, it's like if the guy's name was like Caesar Spike and we call him like Tooch. Like, why did you pick a less cool nickname for this guy than what was already there? Bass is great. Bass is a very like locker room, like dudes being dudes, slapping yourself on the back, you know, rat tailing each other with towels, calling each other by their last names. Like that's what Bass is.
Ronnie
Sunshine.
Bass. Ronnie Bass. Ronnie Bass is a great quarterback. I'm like, that's a hell of a quarterback name, Ronnie Bass. And yet he's got the nickname Sunshine. Sunshine is the one I remember, but when I heard Ronnie Bass this time, I was like, hell yeah, Ronnie Bass. Get that on a jersey. Do you think I could get a Bass, remember the Titans, like a Titans jersey?
If
they gotta be selling them somewhere, right?
Yeah, if they knew it was good for them, they would be selling those things all over the place. Similarly, if the Tennessee Titans knew what were good for them, they would be coming in every single game with the feel good.
Oh man, how hard did it hit you when they hum at the funeral?
Oh my God, I'm so out by that point of the movie just because it's like I'm through a box of Kleenex crying. Like I start crying at the first Left Side Strong Side and just continue for the rest of the movie.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big moment, the Left Side Strong Side, because he pushes him. Bertier pushes him, and there's like a moment where Julius is like processing it that I'm just like, I just feel like the acting in this, I think, is like really good.
Yeah.
And it's just like kind of like at the end of the day, it's like a weird little Disney movie, but I think it's like really solid. They make a lot of good choices. Like the pauses with that, like the times like Julius and Bertier like interact and like have to process things. Even the your mama thing where like Bertier just doesn't understand what's happening and he has to figure that out. I'm like, these are kind of like good character moments. I don't know.
Yeah. It's nice.
Cool, man.
It's a lot of showing and not a lot of telling, which you gotta love. Listener, what do you think? Let us know. Send us an email, nerdy430@gmail.com. Let us know exactly when you stop seeing ghosts. We'll be here again next week with something fun for you. We'll see you then. And until then, stay nerdy, everybody. Bye.
Stay nerdy. Bye.